This is Rob Tebbutt for Behind the Gloves in association with Fresco Box. I'm delighted to be joined by the WBO middleweight champion of the world, Billy Joe Saunders. How you doing, Bill?
Not too bad, just someone robbed my key.
Someone robbed your key? Who was that?
She's a little American lady.
Well, I'll put some calls in, I'll see what I can do for you.
Okay, we're going to have to give her the sack. What's going on with Michelle? Like, was she going to give you the sack earlier on, she was telling me? I heard her say.
I don't know, you'll have to ask her. I hope not.
You're going to buck your ideas up?
I'll do my best. So, nice to see you.
Yep, as always.
Yeah, thanks for having us down to the gym.
If it was down to me, I don't know if you'd be here.
Why did we not just say off camera you're going to do this interview without having a go at me?
Could be a little catch though, couldn't it?
I bring it out of you.
You do.
Okay. Right, let's talk about the fight this past weekend.
Yep.
George Groves versus your old buddy, old chum, Chris Eubank Jr. What did you make of the fight?
I thought Groves had good tactics. I think that he watched a fair few rounds of my fight previous with him. You know, the same sort of kidding and fainting, the feet work, and wonderful jab. Jab won the fight for him. When Eubank come try attack, he let the right hand go, and you know the rest was history. I thought he won 10 of the 12 rounds, comfortable, and looked in control at all times.
Were you surprised at all at the way that Groves won the fight? It seemed to me like it was a little bit easier than many people expected.
No, listen, I always knew that if it was the same 10%, well, if it was 6% of the Groves that boxed Frotch the first time, it was good enough, you know, as long as he had that distance. And I mean, when I was watching the fight, I was saying to Greg, who I watched it with, I just told him how Groves got to come out. As soon as the first round, the bell went, he just come out how I thought, and I thought, yeah, 100%. Do you know what? I wasn't really interested in the fight because I was on Twitter and fucking whatnot else, just having a little mess about. I just knew he had it won.
It seemed to me like there was a huge difference in weight in there. How much of a factor do you think that was?
I think it was a big factor, especially when they was trying to get their work off inside. I mean, I've been in with Eubank. He's strong inside, but punch-wise, he's not strong at all. So I think the size difference tailed in the fight.
What do you make of the result? Because it seems to me, from the outside looking in, that potentially now a potential rematch between yourself and Eubank Jr. is pretty much dead in the water. Is that right?
Do you know what? He's got a long building process. I mean, I'm on my journey, he's on his. So, you know, I'm in no rush at all to fight him or get back in with him. He's got to prove himself first. I think he's got a lot of learning to do. So, I think that fight is definitely out of reach for a while, shall I say.
Does that make you happy, sad? I mean,
not really. No. Listen, he don't do anything for me. I'm middleweight champion of the world. I do what I want, you know, with fight wise. So, you know, the fight I want is obviously Golovkin and Canelo winner. That's the one I'm chasing, and we'll see what happens after that.
Now, you say that you feel that Chris Eubank Jr. needs to make changes. It seemed to me that he hadn't really made any significant changes from the time that you fought him to when he fought Groves. It was the same sort of style that gave him problems. What do you think he needs to make? What changes do you feel he needs to make?
You know, I don't think he can adapt to any changes that's going to help him against a good boxer. You know, I've always said someone with a bit of movement will cause him big trouble. And as you've seen there, I mean, he don't really take note of anyone. He was with one of the best trainers in the game, Adam Booth. Didn't suit him, he left. Then, you know, he just does his own thing. So, you know, he's never going to make a change. So, you know, he in my eyes, I always said he'd never be world champion. And the IBO I don't class as world championship level. Always said he would never be world champion, and you know, I think I'm proved to be right, because never in a million years is he going to become world champion on them performances ever.
Now, you box out of the Ingle Gym. One of, if not the most famous son from the Ingle Gym is Prince Nassim Hamed. Had some words for Chris Eubank Jr. after the fight. Did you see them? I
see him. I thought Naz would just sound it how it is. Look, he's not listening. He's not learning. He hasn't learned since 2014. So what's the point? If you're in it for what you are, you know, you got a paycheck there, sail off to the sunset and leave it. Because if he's in for just, you know, we're not here to con the public, are we? You know, I mean, I do talk a lot of shit myself, but I've backed it up 26 times, world champion, defences and whatnot else. So yeah, I mean, I agree with Naz to an extent that if he, you know, he can't particularly move forward in his boxing career unless some big changes happens and he gets some magic dust somewhere that enhances his boxing skills, because they're absolutely terrible.
Do you think he can make those changes, or do you think he's very much stuck the way he is?
I think that he looks brilliant doing his 9 punches per second combinations on a bag, down it back. I think that he should move back down to journeyman level and punch them about, you know, and just twaddle around there for the next year or two, because he's never ever in a million years beat someone like me. You know, never. I could, like I said against David Lemieux, I put a blindfold on and beat him. You know, I had 6 weeks of training when I boxed him, and you know, the rest was history.
That's something that Dom, your new trainer, has said as well in the past, that you didn't train as hard or train as much.
I trained hard, but I always come back into camp, you know, heavy, 14 stone. And when you're coming down there from 6 weeks, it's a big task. You know, you've got to mentally and physically drain yourself completely. So don't leave a lot of time to get fit. And, you know, I was with Jimmy Tibbs at the time, and I think it was only through Jimmy's experience that got me through the fight without overcooking it, you know. So, and it's funny because the 2 times Jimmy Tibbs has been in the corner against Eubank, twice he's been beat.
Now, you say that you weren't particularly prepared the first time around. Just for argument's sake, if the fight were to happen at middleweight, this new version of you against Chris Eubank Jr. we saw against George Groves, how would that go?
It'd probably be a worse boxer lesson than David Lemieux, probably.
Now, I've just seen that you've sent a tweet out about George Groves as a potential opponent down in the line. Is that you just sort of stoking the fires and having
No,
a dig
listen,
at
I'm
Eubank,
just having a little dig at Eubank really now as well. But listen, me and Groves, you know, he's on his path at the minute. He's done well. He's put himself right back on the map where he needs to be. I think the big fight that people want to see him in is him and James DeGale. But most definitely, if I got the call to fight him, 1,000,000% I wouldn't be saying no. You know, I think it's got potential to do well.
Do you think he wins the tournament if he's fit to compete? I understand there's some issue with the shoulder.
I think that since he's teamed up with Shane McGuigan, I think that he's done a brilliant job of him. You know, they've gelled well, and if I had to have my money on it, I would say win the competition. Yeah.
Okay, and just finally, Bill, because I know you have to get off. What message would you give to Chris Eubank Jr.? Try and keep it mildly clean after Saturday's performance.
So I'm not here to kick a man when he's down, but I haven't stopped kicking him, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? I mean, the only message I can give him is just stop acting like a wanker, really. Just get a trainer. I mean, he's got Ronnie Davis, you know, a diamond in the corner, who's got tons of experience, and he's just brought there just to be mugged off, sit there and not say a word. So you can't really give a man like that any advice, can you?
How do you think he'd get on at the Ingle gym?
He won't last at all. He's not allowed in the gym. Never. I won't allow him in the gym at all.
Okay, well, Billy Joe Saunders, relatively mild-mannered, didn't take the piss out of me too much. Thanks very much for speaking to Behind the Gloves.
Anytime.
Look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you.
Hey Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you do so by clicking this icon right here, or else